Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Neo. Check out this really pretty soft pastel Valentine's Day set. We are going to get started with that in just a moment. This is what the client had when she came in. It was that really brilliant, gorgeous textured white bling birthday set. I will link that in the cards for you, but we decided to do a full removal and we're going to get started right now. So she's bare. We filed down and did a quick soak, nothing crazy. There might be a tiny bit of acrylic left on the natural nail, but that's totally fine. So just getting started like I normally do, spraying her down with alcohol. She had that previous set on about a month, and as you saw, all the bling stayed on. Actually had a really tough go getting some of that bling off, and I know that I said in the previous video that I was curious to see which method of getting the bling to stay would last better. The bling being added with the bling gel seemed to stay a little bit longer. We lost a few of the stones that were on top of the texture, but it might have been not the adhesive, but the fact that it was on top of texture. So there might have been gaps for things to like pull at the bling on those nails, but either way, it was a gorgeous set that lasted really well for her. She had no lifting. We loved it, but you know, birthday season is gone and it's time to get back to normal, or relatively normal, you know, because we're in the Valentine's Day season. Happy Valentine's to you and yours, right? It's actually my dad's birthday, so I have to make sure to call him on Valentine's Day. But I sprayed her down with alcohol and pushed her cuticles back very gently, and now I'm just using, it's not a skiver bit, it's a football bit, and it's a diamond abrasion, so safe to use around that natural nail. In fact, I'm actually just using it on the eponychium, trying to scrape up any cuticle that's in that area. You're going to see a bit of white flakes kind of coming up off the nail. That is the cuticle, and I'm just using this bit to just make sure that I can scrape that up before we get started. That's usually what helps with causing lifting, and I'm doing my best now to focus more on the prep because my clients, you know, want their nails to last a little bit longer. I want them to last a little bit longer, so I focus on that. In this case, I'm going in the forward and reverse direction just because I felt like I wasn't getting it as well as I could. So you saw I flipped my e-file, just, you know, switch that button to go from left to right. And now I am going around the cuticle area in the opposite direction. And I just feel like this gives me a second pass at scraping up anything that might have been pressed down in the regular direction. Now I can go back and kind of scrape it up off the nail in this direction. Nothing crazy. Now I'm going in with my sanding band. This is a course by Young Nails and it's on my, you know, just a regular mandrel bit. I've got my speed fairly low and we are just buffing the natural nail. We did do a quick soak, so her nails are bare for the most part. There are tiny bits of acrylic. You can see like faint hints of that brown color. No problem, but I'm just using this to scuff up her natural nail and to give some texture to the whatever acrylic may be remaining on the natural nail, so that whatever we go in with, you know, for this set has something of a textured surface to kind of stick to. It also helps remove the shine and further remove any dead skin that's, there you go, around the sidewalls and the cuticle area. I'm not using heavy pressure with this at all. It is extremely light pressure. You don't want to ever on the natural nail kind of use force. You don't want to dig into it. That's how you get rings of fire, or you might even give your client like a friction heat burn. So for this purpose, I am using extremely light pressure and just letting the sanding band kind of lightly roll over that nail to kind of remove anything we don't want before the prep. Happy with prep, we're just going to dust off her nails with my favorite rose brush. She actually is really silly. Every time I use it, she thinks it looks like a dog's paw, so she's always like, aren't you going to use the paw to brush my nails? And I'm like, what paw? But it's like a rose, so it's just really funny. I'm going in with these super fun tips. These are they're semi-coffin, I would say, but they're extra long. There's a mild C curve to these. I will link them in the drop box below. I get them from Amazon and I love these tips. They're really great. Nice glass. They're, I would say, like medium thickness. clients, you know, those really hard extendo tips that we've been using, and then those like regular tips that are like really flimsy. These are like halfway in between, so I really do appreciate them. And I'm just making sure to size her up, making sure that the tip fits sidewall to sidewall and to not follow the curvature of her fingertips. We all have wobbly fingers. I always just imagine a straight line down the knuckles, and that usually does it for me. Nothing worse than looking at someone's hands and the nails are like going from left to right. I just think that's so cringe, so I always try to avoid that. Now I'm just going in and sizing up her nails. So I always clip the client's right hand first and let them kind of feel around. Usually they make a fist, or they'll like hold their hand out, they'll tap their phones a bit, and just let me know what feels good. I always during this process remind my clients as well that the nails come out shorter than they assume that they're going to be. I think at this step clients are always a little bit nervous just because there's an extendo on your nail. You know, your nail is now extended and it's hard to visualize, but once you're done applying acrylic and colors and filing, it does come out a little bit shorter. So just keep that in mind when you're sharing that with your clients. That happened with her. She had a really long birthday set and we were going back down to like her normal length, and even at this point she was just kind of like, these feel really long, and I'm like, well, your birthday nails were significantly longer than this. And she was nervous, but by the time we were done with the set she was like, oh, they're not that bad, and I'm like, I told you. So always just keep that in mind and explain that to your client so that they at least know, if they're looking for a particular length, that in the cutting process you want to cut a little bit longer, especially if you're a heavier filer, so that they're not missing length by the end. Just using my 80/80 grit hand file from Pana. Love these. I get them on Amazon. Super stiff, super hard. It just gets the job done. To file the nail tips, blend a little bit with her sidewalls, and to do a quick blend on the actual nail surface. So I'm not focusing on her nail bed. I'm focusing really on the smile line of where the tip meets her nail and just giving a quick blend instead of going in with my sanding band. It was in my hand. I said, you know, why not? Let's just do it. At this point, it is time to prime. So I'm going in with my favorite dehydrator. It's the Mia Secret dehydrator. Honestly, it just, you know, I feel like it's really easy to grab and just, you know, apply no matter what prime system I'm using. I always grab this dehydrator. It really works well to draw out the nails. You can also use like alcohol on a wipe, but it's just handy that way. Then I'm going in with the Valentino Prep or the Super Bond. This has been working especially for her, and we haven't had any lifting with it, so I'm just trying to keep it consistent so that we can see what's actually going on. I like it. It's been working well. So for the fun stuff, so she came in, and this client actually doesn't ever tell me what to do. I can pretty much have free reign with her. She sits down and then she's just, you know, enjoying herself at the appointment. So I had been thinking about doing some Valentine's Day sets because, you know, we're in that vibe. We're in the part of the year where everyone's like focused on love. Christmas sets are kind of out at this point, and I have been collecting some stickers, and I bought these like they look like airbrush bubble circles and hearts, and I was like, I really want to use these for Valentine's. So I, you know, came up with this concept for her. It is a pastel marble pink, purple, and like baby blue situation. Really fun and soft. That's the thing. So when she came and saw the colors, I think she thought it was going to be super neon, especially with this pink. It is by Clawley. Actually, the blue and the pink are from Clawley. I have mentioned them on my channel a bit before. I love Clawley acrylics. I just feel like I get colors here that I haven't seen on other shopping sites, and it's just really great. I can't wait for her to drop her pro collection. Can't wait. I saw her posting about it on her Instagram, but definitely check out Clawley. Their acrylics are very affordable and really pigmented, high quality acrylics. Can't rave enough about them. The purple is by Kiara Sky. It's called Something to the Beat. I don't know, I'll link it down below, but it's a soft kind of pastel purple, and I'm just using super wet beads to marble. I feel like you can't really give a tutorial with marbling. For me personally, there's no wrong way to do it, but I like to use super wet beads, like watery beads. I feel like the acrylic blends that way better. You can actually dip your brush into multiple colors and get the colors on your brush, or you can do like what I'm doing here, and picking up one bead at a time and layering them one on top of the other so that they're running into each other. I just feel like it changes. Sometimes I'll pick up multiple beads. In this case, I was just laying them down and swirling as, I felt fit. And I'm just making sure that if I feel I have too much of one color, I go back in and just add. So here I added pink and purple. I'm like, we need a little bit of blue. So I'll go in and there you go, drop some blue in and just kind of swirl. You don't want to blend the colors too much because then it gets muddied. You want to see the little wisps of the different colors. I think that's what makes it, great. After the marble, I'm going in with some ether flakes that I got from iGel Beauty a while ago, and I love these flakes. I have them in a few different colors, and the cool thing about them is that they reflect different colors. So like this one is green and kind of purpley, but it looks fantastic on top of this blue and pink. It just kind of reflects that bluish kind of pink color. I just wanted to add a little bit of sparkle underneath so that, we get a little bit of pop of something because it's Valentine's Day and it's cute, nothing crazy. So I'm just applying that straight onto the wet acrylic. After the marble, we are going to be doing half marbles on all of the nails except for the ring finger. We're going to do something different on the ring finger, and we are going to be ombreing. So I didn't want to carry the marble all the way up. Just halfway through, and when done with the marble, applying the ether flakes onto that wet acrylic before it does set. I am making sure to use very thin layers of this acrylic colors because we are going to be adding quite a bit of stuff to encapsulate, and I did not want the nails to be super bulky at the end. So yeah, you can just watch me marbling and things like that, and I'll come back when it comes to the next step. So this is something that I often do when I know I'm going to be encapsulating stickers. I try to always add a base coat on top of whatever we are going to be encapsulating on. Not only does it lock down like those ether flakes, I'm going to have this client cure. It locks them down so that they don't move from where I place them. It also helps to fill in any gaps that may have been formed by the marbling. Your brush is kind of swirling these colors around, and it won't be a flat, smooth layer. So I find that adding base coat, especially because the base coat cures with an inhibition sticky layer, it holds onto the stickers a little bit better. So here you go. These are these, and I'm showing her what I was doing. These are these they look like fake you know that effect that you get when you see airbrush hearts where they use the stencils? That's pretty much the vibe that this was giving, and I thought it was really cute and subtle for Valentine's Day. I didn't want to use like actual hearts in the nails. Like we all see that all over the place, and I've done that before too. So I figured this was a nice play on Valentine's Day that's still light and airy and cute, you know, and sparkly, because you can't, you know, not have sparkle in a nail. So I'm applying 2 stickers to each nail, 1 bubble heart and 1 bubble circle. Nothing crazy. I am going to add some additional hand-drawn, you know, little things in there to make it pop a little bit more. But this set is so gorgeous. There's so much that I'm encapsulating in this set, but it came out so subtle. I think just because the colors were soft and pastel. Like if I had gone in with like super bright neon colors, it would have been even more impactful. But I really kind of like that it gave a nod to Valentine's Day in terms of the pinks and the purples, etc., but wasn't like on the nose. You know, you could wear this any time of year and it would still be great. So that's it. 2 stickers on each nail. There you go. And I love that I did it with the base coat because the base coat is sticky, so the stickers are not lifting up. You're not losing them in the corners or anything like that. So it was really, really cool. Then I'm going to take some white gel striping brush, and I'm just going to draw some dots to look like stars, because, you know, it felt like we were, and she even mentioned it felt like we were in a sky. So I was like, you know what, let's just add some stars. So I'm just adding some twinkle stars, about 2 on each nail, and then some white dots, you know, just for a little bit of touch of something special too. So anytime I'm encapsulating something with an image on it, a photo, whether it's transfer foil, etc., stickers, I always try to add base coat on top of them, because I find that monomer eats away at that print and the image, and in an effort to not have that happen, I go in, cure really quickly with base coat, and it's protected under there. So I wasn't going to do this, but I couldn't resist, right? I love a little sparkle. I am encapsulating pixies in the nail. I love doing this. I've been doing this for, what, a year plus now. If I can squeeze pixies into a nail, I'm going to. So I did apply that base coat, so the stickers are protected from the monomer. So I'm going in with wet washes of clear acrylic, and we are just giving it a base for, there you go, a wet wash of clear acrylic. And wherever I applied it, I'm then going to dip my brush into some pixies and just place a few of them around the nail. I'm not trying to inundate the nail with a lot of them, but because, you know, it's sparkly and it's pretty, I really think encapsulating pixies is so cool. It gives us a twinkle of something, and the cool thing about them is that they're clear AB little, you know, rocks or whatever, and they reflect pretty much any color you put them on. So I just think that they're fantastic. I know that they do come in colors. I've seen like red and black pixies, even like coppery ones, which are pretty cool, but you can't go wrong with the original crystal AB ones. They're just perfect. So I am just adding some of those on top of that clear acrylic wash, just so that when the client like moves her fingers around, you get a hint of sparkle, since we're not going crazy with the bling as well. Alrighty, so to get into these ombres, we are using Valentino's Dolce de Leche. I love, guys, I can't stress enough how much this color does it for me. This color is, I think, one of my favorite acrylic colors of all time. I really, really love what it does. I love the tone of it. I think it fits so well for so many different people of color. I have mostly brown girl clients, so it looks good on all of the skin tones of my clients. I just love it. It's kind of like a warm but muted soft brown. It's not too pink. I feel like a lot of nudes go for that pinky edge, but this color, I can't gush about it enough. So we're using that to ombre, and we're going to do a full cover nail on the ring finger. And it's just going to help to kind of push that, all that stuff we did on the tip of the marbles just to the background a little bit. And it's very, very subtle. I really, really love this color. So nothing crazy. I'm doing a full solid nail on the ring finger and then ombreing over the half marbles of all of the other fingers. Once done with that, it is time to clear cap these nails. So I'm just going in with my favorite Young Nails Core Clear, and we are just going to do a quick encapsulation of all of the nails. I did my best to do very thin layers of the marble/ombre nails, especially with all the crap that I threw in there, the pixies, the stickers, the hand-drawn, whatever. I try my best to make it as thin as possible so I can build up the structure with the clear. So that's just what we're doing. You know, building up for structure. The nails are fairly long, so you want to make sure that you have your apex in the right area. It's all relative though to whoever, or subjective to whoever's doing the nails. You know, do whatever works for you, but this is how I like to clear cap my nails. So at this point, I am ready to e-file. You see I'm starting by placing that carbide bit right under the very, very free edge of the nail. Sometimes when I'm doing my acrylic application with all the padding that I do, I get some excess acrylic on the underside of the very, very underside of that tip. So I do that, nothing crazy. So in my e-file process, I like to go side to side, as you can see, up the entire length of the nail. That gives me a preliminary smoothing of the nail. Gosh, it's a really good application, isn't it? I love a pinky nail, guys. It is just my favorite finger. It's just so pretty and slender and small. Man, I love a pinky nail. But yes, I like to go side to side, as you can see, up the entire length of the nail, and then use that sharp edge of the carbide bit. This is a medium non-safety. I really love the barrel bits because of that sharp edge on it. I feel like I can get it right in between the client's skin and the beginning of the extension, and it just helps to seal that area, ensuring that there's no product touching the skin, which would cause lifting. And it just makes it able so that I can, there you go, I can thin it out. She was pointing to the nail, like, you always talk about how this is your favorite nail, and I'm like, I know, it's so cute. It just helps to seal that acrylic application for me. So I know that a lot of people may hand file before they e-file. I really don't like hand filing. It's like my least favorite thing to do in a service. So I focus a lot, as you know, when you watch my acrylic application, I focus a lot on the padding of the nail. You can see that the shape is really, really nice and clean. And then I use my e-file to kind of help me out so that when I get to the hand filing part, it's very minimal work that I actually have to do. It's just so much on the body and on the arm and on the shoulder that I'm always kind of like, if I don't got to do it, I don't want to. So there you go, just using the e-file to pretty much clean up the nail. I do spend a lot of time on the very, very, very free edge of the tip. That is because I'm not someone who folds over acrylic very often to like remove excess. I often just back pat to push the product back onto the nail. I don't know why, but it just feels good to do that way, and I save a lot of product instead of like removing as much product as possible. I try to always size my beads appropriately so that I'm using or losing really minimum product, because we all know it's expensive and things are getting more expensive. So with the e-file, I know I have to spend a little bit more time on that free edge just because I back pat, so there's excess product usually built up there. And as you can see, the cuticles are nice and thin and smooth. I'm getting that tip, there you go, getting the very, very sharp edge of that e-file or the barrel bit, sorry, not the e-file. I'm right around that sidewall area, and I just think it helps to clean up the appearance of the nail. There you go, you saw me slide my thumb down the length of the nail, and here I am spending just a little bit more time on that free edge because I know I back pat, so there's excess, usually like a little more product there than I'd like. I don't want a chunky tip of the nail. You want the most product to be towards the middle of the nail, right where the client's natural free edge is where you kind of want your apex to be. That's where the most pressure is going to be applied to the nail, especially, you know, the longer it gets. Yes, you're going to need more of an apex, but that's all subjective. I like my apex to be more towards the free edge of the actual client's nail. I like the cuticle area to be nice and thin and then tapered back down to a thin tip. So it's all subjective, like I said. Whatever you or your nail tech prefer, do that. But this is just what I do. I have my e-file at a medium to high speed. Can't tell you. My e-file doesn't tell me. It's all by feel, and it changes. Sometimes I need it to be a little bit slower. I know when this client came in and we were doing the removal, normally for removals, I turn my e-file up all the way to 35,000 RPM. But for some reason this day when I was doing her nails, I just didn't feel like I could control it. No biggie, I just turned it down. So for me, I feel like my e-file progression is just by feel. Depending on the day, I may need it to be slower, I may need it to be faster. But that's a part of it, you know, growing and adapting and things like that. I really, really love how subtle. You guys saw how much we put on the free edge of the nail, the marble, the glitter, the pixies, the stickers, the hand drawing, and look how subtle and soft it is. I just think that this was such an ethereal kind of way to play around with the Valentine's theme without being too on the nose. I really, really love it. into the not so fun stuff, but the important stuff. So at this point, I've got my 80/80 grit hand file, and we are just sharpening the shape. I say this all the time, but you're gonna see how little filing I actually have to do on this pinky nail. I want it, I don't know about y'all, but I want it to be nice and square and super sharp. Actually, this client asked me to buff the bottom of her nails again. I did when I did her nails, but she asked me again because she was like, I'm gonna scratch my face. And I'm like, girl, but they're worth it, aren't they? So that's pretty much it. Done, right? That pinky is finished, nice and square. And even before that, you can see this ring finger. The shape looks really, really good. That's what I'm talking about in terms of patting that product so much that literally at this point, all I'm doing is making it nice and tight, cleaning up the sidewalls with my e-file. I said e-file. Whoa, my hand file. And I really, really enjoy using a super stiff hand file because I found when I first started doing nails that when I was using those thin, flimsy ones, this part of the process is where my nails would come out a little bit wobbly because as you're pressing in one area, the file is like leaning to another side and then your nail's not straight. So I think the stiffer and the harder the file, the less work you have to do and the easier it's going to be, the sharper your shape is going to be. But you know, to each their own. I just really enjoyed this 80/80 super thick hard grit hand file from Pana on Amazon. I will link it down below. Just going in with this mini buffer and just smoothing out the surface of the nails, just getting it extra smooth. Sometimes I like to just go in with the same sanding band from before. Not sure why she pulled her hand away, but just going in with the buffing block, and you're gonna see me run it underneath the free edge of her nail as well. That's to, you know, kind of help her out and soften the bottom a little bit so that they don't scratch their faces. I just think the appearance of a super sharp nail is just gorge. It's just everything to me. So in an effort to kind of be kind to my clients, I always try to buff underneath so that it dulls a tiny bit. I'm not sure if it's going to help too much, but you know, it's what I can contribute. But yes, look at how subtle and pretty these nails are. I thought that they would come out a little bit more impactful, but I really love that they just give a hint of pink and the soft ethereal Valentine's Day vibe without being too in the face. And obviously Dulce de Leche is a great color for her skin tone. So in an effort to remove the dust and to dehydrate the set before finishing her off, we are just spraying her down with alcohol again and just using a manicure brush I was just telling her that I love that nude nail. We need to do a nude set like that. Going in with a manicure brush and just cleaning off the nail, getting rid of any debris that might be sitting in that cuticle area. Don't want that. I've got some Swarovski bling out. These are all Swarovski rhinestones that I get from Michaels. They're actually not in Michaels anymore. I'm so sad. Swarovski's not selling to them either. So I'm super glad that, when they were, I stocked up as much as I could, because I've got lots of these little containers of Swarovski bling hanging around. So we just chose some colors that we thought matched. I was actually going to go in with some pastel blue and pastel purple, but we felt like the set was leaning a little bit more pink. And then we just decided to do some cuticle bling, but she decided she didn't like the order of the bling that I did place. So I just went in and plucked them off with my bling nippers, and we're just going to go back in with the Zule adhesive and then reapply different colors. I'm putting the pastel back at the cuticle, and then a crystal in the front. In the middle is like a kind of soft rose pink Swarovski rhinestone, so just 3 right at the cuticle. When we first did this set, we actually on the other hand did this huge bling situation on the ring finger, but we both felt like it was just too much, honestly. Sometimes it is best to take something away and leave a set just really, really simple, and we did that. I'm so glad we did, because it was such a distraction, and the gorgeousness of this set has to be what's happening on the free edge of those marble ombre nails. So we decided to just go in with our simple, this is her signature like cuticle bling. I always do this on her, and it's our thing, So then going in with my glossy top coat, making sure to be careful not to get it on top of the bling. If I do, I'm going to go in with my alcohol wipe before curing and just clean them off so that we get the full faceted brilliance of these rhinestones. Once done, I'm going to have the client cure for 60 seconds, but I'm going to make sure to clean her sidewalls first. You do not want to put in all this effort into giving good acrylic application and e-filing and hand filing to get this gorgeous shape to just warp it or soften it with gel top coat. So I'm going to make sure to wipe those sidewalls as best I can, sometimes even the free edge, and then have the client cure right away. So to wrap this up, I'm cleaning her sidewalls and I'm going to send her to cure. This is a shot of the final set. It came out so nice. I love that even with all the crap that I did on that free edge, these nails came out super soft and subtle and pretty. I love it. Would you wear this for Valentine's Day? Definitely let me know. Or do you like sets that are a little bit more on the nose? Let me know. Like this video if you like, subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching. Watch some more of my videos. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.